Now at 9, a second flood forces a local animal shelter to evacuate. See how the community stepped in to help.
More changes with leadership at the Baxter Springs Police Department, just months after a new chief was named. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
House Republicans passed a big, beautiful bill, but it faces an uncertain future in the Senate. I'm Griff Jenkins. I've got the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Baxter Springs appoints a new interim police chief just 4 months after the last chief took office. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. City officials appointed Rick Comer to the position on Tuesday. KOAM Samantha Walker has the details on this change of leadership.
There's been several changes in leadership at the Baxter Springs Police Department ever since former Chief of Police Brian Henderson was elected as Cherokee County Sheriff back in November. At that time, former Assistant Chief Jimmy Hamilton was named as interim chief. Hamilton was officially named Chief of Police in January of this year. But now the city of Baxter Springs has posted a job listing for the position. We reached out to Hamilton and city officials who have confirmed Hamilton is no longer serving as chief and has resumed his role as assistant chief. The mayor of Baxter Springs says Hamilton voluntarily stepped down from the position. City officials confirm Rick Comer has since been appointed as chief of police. Comer has served as a school resource officer with the department. The mayor says the city is accepting applications for the chief position as part of procedure. He says Comer will apply just like everyone else. Reporting in Baxter Springs, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
For those interested in applying for the police chief position, applications can be picked up at the Baxter Springs City Hall, and they will be accepted for the next 2 weeks. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today, but a lot of changes moving in as we go through the next few days. Chilly night tonight, temps into lower 50s. Strong to severe thunderstorms late Friday night into Saturday morning. Then very stormy, unfortunately, for the holiday weekend. Periods of showers and thunderstorms, several inches of rain possible. Already, we're under a flash flood watch. You want to know why? It's because of this. Anywhere from 2 upwards to 7 or 8 inches are possible. We'll see if this shifts a little farther south or shifts a little bit farther north as we go through the next few days. Today, pretty nice, well below our average. 74 for a high, started at 58, but we stay in the 70s with all this rain. We're going to look at that holiday here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. For the second time in just over a year, the Nevada Animal Shelter is forced to evacuate after heavy storms bring severe flooding. The facility was built just last year, and city leaders say the issue is familiar, but the exact cause is not. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the city manager says the community pulled together in a time of need.
During the heavy rain that we had earlier this week, we received approximately 7 inches of rain.
Gary Edmonds is the Nevada city manager. He says last week rain flooded a nearby creek.
About 3 feet of water went into the animal shelter. Well, that created a problem.
While the rain brought a lot of headaches, it also brought a lot of care.
Somehow the word got out to the public, and cars were lined along the outer road, lined along I-49, everybody rushing over to help evacuate the animals.
Community members rushed to move animals to high ground to a nearby clinic, and some animals didn't wait for anyone.
Some of the animals even started swimming themselves, head to dry land, so it was quite a scene.
The animals are now safe back in the shelter, at least for the time being, but Edmonds says this is not the first time this facility was flooded, and he worries it could happen again.
They're having an engineer come in with a specialist from Rolla to not only look at exactly what happened the second time, because they did a lot of work to correct the first problem. Actual flash flood occurred just a few feet from, or the cause of the problem, a few feet from where they did all the improvements. But more importantly, what can be done to prevent it from happening a third or fourth or fifth time?
Reporting in Nevada, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The Nevada Animal Shelter's Facebook page is currently trying to adopt out all the animals in the shelter. If you're interested, they say shoot them an email. Missouri American Water says customer bills will go up starting this month. The Missouri Public Service Commission approved a rate settlement for the utility provider's water and wastewater services. The company says the increase seeks to recover about $1.1 billion on system improvements. For an average metered residential water customer, your bill will jump about $9 per month. But for flat rate residential customers, it will go up about $12 a month. The new rates take effect May 28th. 38 people celebrated becoming U.S. citizens today in a ceremony at the George Washington Carver National Monument. The new citizens hail from 17 different countries, including Mexico, the Philippines, and Ukraine. Choir students from Thomas Jefferson Independent Day School and ROTC students from Joplin helped with the ceremony. And following the swearing in, local organizations like the League of Women Voters helped attendees register to vote so they can soon put their citizenship to use. Well, KOEM celebrated the Great American Flag Swap today in Neosho, Missouri. The event took place at Wesco Home Furnishings. Folks could bring in their old tattered flag and replace it with a brand new one for no charge. All the old flags will be properly retired.
It's a great way to basically honor our veterans and service that served us and fought for the country. I mean, for those who served and the families of the ones that served.
To find dates and locations of future flag swaps, just check out our website. Well, coming up, another twist in the Diddy trial.
In another shocking turn in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, rapper Kid Cudi takes the stand. I'm Connor Hansen in New York with why he believes Combs blew up his car. Coming up.
But first, the Joplin Ozark Center takes its 60th anniversary celebration on the road with a taco bar for Casa Kids. FDA Commissioner Marty Makary faced furious lawmakers on Capitol Hill as his agency rolls out new guidance on COVID vaccines. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from the White House.
We are planning to bring back gold standard science and common sense.
Under President Biden, COVID shots were a top priority. Now the Trump administration is putting on the brakes, and Democrats are not happy. FDA Commissioner Marty Makary getting grilled by skeptical lawmakers on the Senate Appropriations Committee after his agency announced only seniors in high-risk groups will be cleared for COVID boosters. Makary says the shots will eventually be made available to everyone, but more clinical data is needed.
Some of these companies made $100 billion in the COVID booster. They can afford to run a clinical trial, and they have time to run a clinical trial.
Makary also refused to answer questions about how long those trials will take, sparking concerns that the vaccine skeptic may move to restrict access to other shots as well.
We're setting a common sense framework.
But I get that.
85% of healthcare
Are we talking about 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years?
Democrats also criticized Makary for what they call dangerous cuts to FDA staffing, which they say will put America's public health response at risk.
You had said there were no cuts to scientists. You said that, right?
I was referring to scientific reviewers.
But scientists had been fired, correct?
There have been research scientists in some labs.
Pfizer and Moderna both say they're working with the FDA to get their COVID shots cleared for everyone. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Well, kids' breakfast cereals are becoming even less healthy. A study published in JAMA finds the fat, salt, and sugar content in breakfast cereals have all shot up since 2010. Meanwhile, the levels of protein and fiber have been reduced. The biggest concern, just one serving of the average cereal has 45% of the daily recommended limit of sugar for a child. Well, taking vitamin D supplements can help slow the body's aging process. A study by Mass General Brigham found not only does vitamin D maintain chromosomes, it also reduces inflammation and lowers the chance of chronic diseases. The study suggests getting more vitamin D could prevent 3 years of biological aging. A new study shows social media is making kids more depressed. The research by UC San Francisco shows as kids' social media use increases, their depressive symptoms rise by more than a third by the age of 12. Another troubling find, kids who are cyberbullied online are more likely to attempt suicide and experiment with drugs and alcohol. Well, tacos to commemorate the Big 6-0. The Joplin Ozark Center is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year, and staff members this evening decorated and manned a taco bar at the Jasper County Casa for Casa staff and kids. It's one way to give back to a partner organization they've worked with for years.
So I'm on the board of CASA as well as being the CEO of Ozark Center. So CASA is near and dear to my heart. It was a really great event coming up for us in May. They always have lots of really great activities here for the kids. So they really like it when somebody from the community can come in and cook for the kids and serve them dinner at the same time.
Well, Jasper County CASA recruits and trains volunteers to advocate for children in foster care. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later a sculpture honoring Joplin tornado victims finds a new home and a lasting place in the city's history.
Well, we got showers, we got thunderstorms, which are going to increase again as we go through the next few days. Last night we had a few severe thunderstorms. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that tonight, but we do have to worry about the chance for flash flooding as we get into the weekend. So there's a flash flood watch in effect starting tomorrow, and this goes all the way through Memorial Day, anywhere from 2 to 8 inches of rain already on very saturated grounds across the area. Thankfully, we are looking pretty good right now. We have a few scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, mainly to our south, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, as we go into Friday, a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather, late afternoon, evening, and then again as we go through the night. Saturday, a level 1 threat as that bigger threat stays back across central Oklahoma, but I think this will creep back up once again as we go into Sunday afternoon. Let's go through time. Pretty quiet tonight. Temps near 50 for an overnight low. Through the morning, a lot of clouds, but we pop near 70, if not into lower 70s. Let's go through the afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms push in. So here's 4 or 5 p.m. Anything that can get in here will have that threat to be strong to possibly severe, meaning mainly hail. So something we want to keep our eyes on as we go into Friday afternoon. These will push out, but Friday night, toward midnight, another big band of showers and thunderstorms work in, and we'll have to add the threat in for some gusty winds with this big bash. Showers, thunderstorms last into Saturday morning, mainly cloudy Saturday. Here comes showers and thunderstorms again Saturday evening and Saturday night. Some of these guys could be a little strong to possibly severe, very heavy amounts of rain pushing through all the way into Sunday morning. Let's keep that trend going. Let's go to Sunday afternoon. So again, big batch of thunderstorms into Sunday morning, and then you can see this wind shift line right through the region. That's a warm front. Anything south of that could be strong to severe, but we're kind of in that bullseye just to get very heavy amounts of rain late Sunday, Sunday night, all the way into Monday morning, and then periods of showers as we go through the daytime hours on Monday. Again, rainfall accumulations. We'll see if this shifts a little north or a little south, but right now it looks like 2 upwards to 7, 8, 9 inches of rain. 68 by noon, high temp, 74 for the holiday weekend. We only stay into the 70s for highs, 73 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday. Of course, the heavy rains Saturday night, and then that severe threat kind of pops back up as we go into Sunday. All right, 10-day, hold into the 70s through the weekend. Little cool Memorial Day. Look at this. Only 68 degrees. We dry out Tuesday, showers back in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of late next week.
Thank you, Doug. And we've got the perfect way for you to stay ahead of severe weather season. All you have to do is scan this QR code with your phone and head straight to the updated weather resources page on our website, where you can find information on storm shelters, weather updates, closings, and road conditions. You can also find tips for watching live streams in real time. It's called the Weather Resource page on KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, a sculpture honoring victims of the 2011 Joplin tornado has a new permanent home. It made its move today on the 14th anniversary of the deadly storm. The Joplin Memorial Run sculpture, created by Active Lifestyle Events, will now be cared for by the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Leaders from both organizations say the piece will continue to serve as a lasting tribute to those lost in the storm.
We kept trying to come up with a date that would be appropriate, so what better way to focus on the lives that were lost during this time, the 161 lives in the tornado. We just thought it was an appropriate day to do so.
The sculpture now stands near 8th Street and Joplin Avenue, the original start and finish line for the race. Well, coming up, he graduated from Joplin High School in 1938, and today Harold Brazil is recognized for his service in the U.S. Air Force as a Tuskegee Airman. We'll take you to the ceremony.
Rock the Woods, Bands for Brothers 6, May 31st.
Memorial Day sale starts now at Wade's RV. We're slashing prices on travel.
With Memorial Day around the corner, we remember the men and women who served our country. The recent discovery of a World War II veteran and a former Tuskegee Airman buried in Joplin brought multiple groups together to honor Dr. Harold E. Brazil. KOAM's Anthony Saviello was at the ceremony and has more.
One final salute as a flag is presented in honor of Tuskegee Airman Dr. Harold E. Brazil.
It will eventually go to the family, but we will hold it in honorarium for him until we can get that done. So we are just excited and pleased of the recognition that was bestowed on him today.
A ceremony bringing together those who may not have known Dr. Brazil personally, but who want to honor him and the legacy he left behind.
And that was amazing, especially our veterans. That while Memorial Day is always, a sober thing, is also exciting to see them that they still, have the love for our country as they served, and they should get their pat on the back while we see them too. So.
The former alumni of Joplin's Lincoln High School rests next to his brother Paris, and only a few feet away from his mother Lavina and father Paul. There is still more to learn about Dr. Brazil.
When you start doing this kind of research, you start trying to look into someone's life and you have documents, and then there's some gaps in documents and you can't find a piece that you're really searching for. You kind of have to reach out into the community. There's a lot of research yet to do, and there are a lot of people in the community who have stories about Harold Brazil that we'd love to hear and be able to help preserve those for future generations.
Brazil is one of only 9 Tuskegee Airmen from the state of Missouri. He remains a soldier gone, but not forgotten. In Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
And the Jasper County Cemetery Preservation Society plans to hold a ceremony for a Revolutionary War soldier next year. Up next, Carthage, a landmark, shines again. A downtown mural is restored. See how local art is bringing new life to the city. A piece of Carthage history is shining bright once again. Vision Carthage celebrates the completed restoration of the Municipal Park mural downtown with a ribbon cutting today. The event took place at the corner of Lyon and 4th Street, where the mural sits on the side of the Flanagan, Lastly, and Moore building. Originally painted in 2006 by John Biggs, the mural features a scene of the old 1938 dance pavilion that now houses the Municipal Park roller rink. Local artist Cheryl Church took on the commission to restore the artwork.
Part of it is just like you want to respect the artist, so you want to make sure that I stay as close to their original design as possible. I did have the original mock-up to use so that I had a good reference. But yeah, that's just kind of the hardest part, is I want to make sure and respect the previous artist.
Well, Vision Carthage says the project is part of a broader effort to revitalize faded murals and signs across the city, adding energy and excitement for both locals and tourists. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The House passes Trump's big, beautiful bill by 1 vote. You look at the sweeteners added in at the last minute to win over GOP holdouts. And rapper Kid Cudi is on the witness stand testifying in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs.
The Big Bang Theory, tonight at 10:30.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. House Republicans are taking a victory lap after coming together to pass the president's big, beautiful bill, despite several GOP holdouts. Fox News correspondent Griff Jenkins has more from Washington.
Bill is passed.
President Trump scored a major legislative victory on Thursday. The House passed his big, beautiful bill by a razor-thin margin. The final vote was 215 to 214, with one member voting present. It came after days of legislative arm twisting, some of it by Trump himself. And in the end, 2 Republicans voted no, Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Warren Davidson of Ohio. But House Speaker Mike Johnson says, despite the close vote, the Republican Party remains united.
The principle and the philosophy is always the same. Everybody's conservative. We believe in limited government.
As expected, no Democrats supported the bill, which extended $4.5 trillion in tax breaks and slashes spending to make up for the shortfall.
You have consistently proven to be nothing more than a rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda.
Now the bill heads to the Senate, with House Republicans urging few changes, saying negotiations to bring the 2 chambers together are already underway.
We've been talking to the Senate for a long time, but it's their turn to take this bill and move forward.
But Democrats say they'll keep fighting to make sure key parts of the Trump agenda are stripped from the bill.
To be clear, this bill would hurt the most vulnerable Americans, and the most benefits would only reach the top wealthiest.
Republicans are expected to use a special budget process to get around a possible Democratic filibuster in the Senate. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
2 Israeli embassy employees, including an American, were shot and killed Wednesday night as they left the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. The suspect is in custody. Law enforcement officials described the attack as targeted. Said the suspect shouted "Free Palestine" as he was being detained. The shooting is being investigated as a hate crime. The Sean Diddy Combs trial takes another turn in New York City today. Rapper Kid Cudi took the stand, saying he feared for his safety after briefly dating Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Connor Hansen has more.
Grammy Award-winning rapper Kid Cudi entered the New York City courtroom where Sean Diddy Combs is on trial for a 3rd week. He testified about his brief relationship with Cassie Ventura, Combs' ex-girlfriend, who the disgraced rap mogul is accused of repeatedly abusing. Kid Cudi detailed a break-in at his California home that happened after Diddy found out he and Ventura were dating. And on another occasion, Kid Cudi's car was set on fire with a Molotov cocktail. Ventura testified earlier in the trial that Diddy had threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car. While the rapper suspected Diddy was behind both, no one has been charged in either of those cases.
Certainly, prosecutors have been quite successful so far in establishing patterns of violent behavior by Sean Combs.
Combs has been charged with both racketeering and sex trafficking. Prosecutors have been working to establish a pattern.
The defense is saying, look, this was just an abusive relationship, but it doesn't go into sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is the difference between consent and coercion, right? If there's force, if there's coercion, then it becomes sex trafficking.
Earlier Thursday, the jury also heard from Combs' former personal assistant. George Kaplan said he witnessed Combs violently attack Ventura aboard a private jet. After Kid Cudi, a makeup artist who worked with both Ventura and Combs, took the stand, describing more alleged abuse by Combs. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, AI finance help.
Still haven't hired a financial planner? Try an artificial one. I'm Eben Brown in Miami. I'll have that story straight ahead.
Well, we got showers, we got thunderstorms, which are going to increase again as we go through the next few days. Last night we had a few severe thunderstorms. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that tonight, but we do have to worry about the chance for flash flooding as we get into the weekend. So there's a flash flood watch in effect starting tomorrow, and this goes all the way through Memorial Day, anywhere from 2 to 8 inches of rain already on very saturated grounds across the area. Thankfully, we are looking pretty good right now. We have a few scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, mainly to our south, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, as we go into Friday, a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather, late afternoon, evening, and then again as we go through the night. Saturday, a level 1 threat as that bigger threat stays back across central Oklahoma, but I think this will creep back up once again as we go into Sunday afternoon. Let's go through time. Pretty quiet tonight. Temps near 50 for an overnight low. Through the morning, a lot of clouds, but we pop near 70, if not into lower 70s. Let's go through the afternoon. Scattered thunderstorms push in. So here's 4 or 5 p.m. Anything that can get in here will have that threat to be strong to possibly severe, meaning mainly hail. So something we want to keep our eyes on as we go into Friday afternoon. These will push out, but Friday night, toward midnight, another big band of showers and thunderstorms work in, and we'll have to add the threat in for some gusty winds with this big bash. Showers, thunderstorms last into Saturday morning, mainly cloudy Saturday. Here comes showers and thunderstorms again Saturday evening and Saturday night. Some of these guys could be a little strong to possibly severe, very heavy amounts of rain pushing through all the way into Sunday morning. Let's keep that trend going. Let's go to Sunday afternoon. So again, big batch of thunderstorms into Sunday morning, and then you can see this wind shift line right through the region. That's a warm front. Anything south of that could be strong to severe, but we're kind of in that bullseye just to get very heavy amounts of rain late Sunday, Sunday night, all the way into Monday morning, and then periods of showers as we go through the daytime hours on Monday. Again, rainfall accumulations. We'll see if this shifts a little north or a little south, but right now it looks like 2 upwards to 7, 8, 9 inches of rain. 68 by noon, high temp, 74 for the holiday weekend. We only stay into the 70s for high, 73 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday. Of course, the heavy rains Saturday night, and then that severe threat kind of pops back up as we go into Sunday. All right, 10-day, hold into the 70s through the weekend. A little cool Memorial Day. Look at this, only 68 degrees. We dry out Tuesday, showers back in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of late next week.
Well, as the weather continues to warm, the Missouri Public Service Commission wants to remind consumers that Missouri's hot weather law will soon take effect. The law protects all residential customers from having their electric or natural gas service disconnected due to non-payment when temperatures rise above 95 degrees or a heat index above 105 degrees. Both Arkansas and Oklahoma have similar laws. Now, Kansas does not have this law in place. For more information, just head over to KOAMNewsNow.com. Still ahead, a Pittsburgh Purple Dragon signs to continue his baseball career with Coffeyville Community College. Plus, the Joplin Outlaws played their first game of the 2025 season. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
One of the signs of summer's return in the 4 states is Joplin Outlaws baseball, and tonight is the 2025 season opener at Joe Becker Stadium, and Joplin is the defending Mid-America League champion. Missouri Southern grad Cole Gaiman on the mound for the Outlaws opening night against the Fort Smith Marshals, and he's sharp early, picking up a strikeout as part of a 1-2-3 top of the first. In the bottom of the inning, Outlaws have a runner on first. Maverick Williamson shatters his bat, and the Marshals turn a double play to end the inning. This one's a pitcher's duel. Now we go to the fifth. Both teams hitless. Gaiman gets another punch out. Runner tries to steal second. He's safe, but the ump calls batter interference, so make it a double play. Bottom of the fifth. Merkel Turner lines one through the infield for a hit. That's the Outlaws' first hit of the day, but Joplin fails to bring him home. In the sixth, the Marshals line one into center, and Turner dives and makes a great catch. That maintains a no-hitter for Gaiman. He goes 7 2/3 on the mound, does Gaiman, just allowing one hit while striking out 9. And the Outlaws finally score in the sixth. They take down the Marshals 1-0 in their home opener. Meanwhile, up in Warrensburg, Missouri, Pittsburgh State Baseball begins a best-of-3 Super Regional Series against MIAA rival Central Missouri. Game 1 is this afternoon. The Gorillas lose a tight one, 7-5 the final score. They scored the first 2 runs of the game in the top of the first. UCM responds with 5 unanswered. PSU then ties it up at 5 before the Mules score 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Gorillas face elimination tomorrow afternoon. High school baseball playoffs roll along in our area as well. In Missouri, 3 of our local teams can advance to district championships tonight. But we'll start in Kansas, where Fort Scott hosts a regional tournament, and the Tigers, they beat Coffeyville 10-0 in the semifinals before taking down Wamego 10-1 in the championship. After coasting to those 2 victories, Fort Scott is headed to the Class 4A state tournament. Over in Missouri, Carl Junction baseball shuts out Raytown South 5-0 in the Class 5 District 7 semifinals. Bulldogs starting pitcher Cooper Vidix throws a no-hitter and strikes out 16. Webb City beats Belton 3-2. Brock Renfro hits a walk-off single in the bottom of the 7th to seal that victory. So CJ and Webb will meet in the district title game on Saturday. In the Class 6 District 6 tournament, that's in Springfield, Joplin High School baseball upsets the number 1 seed Kickapoo 2-0 in the semis this afternoon. Eagles will face Nixa in the district title game on Saturday. And then down in Arizona, Crowder wins again at the NJCAA Softball World Series. Rough Riders beat Grayson 5-3 in an elimination game. They're one of the last 6 teams remaining and will face Gaston in another elimination game tonight at 10:15. Over at Pittsburgh High School, Carson Nicholson signs his letter of intent this afternoon to play baseball at Coffeyville Community College. Future Red Raven is excited to join a program on the rise, which won a regional this year.
I talked to a couple schools. They were just one of the few that got back with me, but the coaches up there, I love it. They only have 2 coaches, so it's a little different than all the other surrounding JUCOs and colleges, but they really give that one-on-one time, and they've had a great season. They've done the best they've done in several years at Coffeyville, and I'm just excited to get up there with the 2 coaches and get to work.
Back to Pitt State baseball. Tough loss for them today, but they got to get right back at it tomorrow to keep their season alive.
I know, it's kind of fun that the high school season's ending, but then we've got the Outlaws just starting.
Very fun.
All right, we're back with more news after this. The number of AI-powered personal finance assistants is exploding, with millions of Americans now using artificial intelligence technology to make their most important financial decisions, whether they know it or not. Fox's Eben Brown has more in our Fox on Tech series.
As the AI revolution accelerates, more of us are interacting with the new technology, and we might not even be aware of it. Now, AI chatbots are helping with everything from shopping to managing finances, and the most successful models so far are the ones that blend artificial intelligence with human interactions, with more of us using the tech to get low-level tasks off our plates.
There's always going to be a place for technology and humans to operate together. I think that balance is shifting, and hopefully what technology will continue to do is automate.
One of the most widely used AI tools is Erica, Bank of America's virtual assistant. It was launched in 2018, and since then, customers have interacted with it almost 3 billion times, using the tech to gain new insights into their personal finances and spending habits.
Erica operates as almost a mission control for your finances. So Erica can help with predictive insights. and say, hey, did you notice that your spend patterns have changed?
And experts say evolution is the key. Erica has been refined more than 55,000 times since it first went online. It is also moving beyond simple banking. It can now give advice about things like investments and retirement saving, part of a generational shift in how we use artificial intelligence.
That kind of continuous investment and continuous refinement of Erica is what's made Erica work really well for us.
The market for AI-powered personal finance assistance was worth $1.5 billion last year alone. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning leads this week's new releases. Find out what's new in theaters and streaming up next. An action-packed franchise, a live-action remake, and a family adventure. Here's a look at this week's new releases with Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
What exactly is your plan?
Tom Cruise is back in action on the big screen as Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. The story and stunt work ensue as Hunt and team race to find a rogue artificial intelligence known as the Entity, which can destroy mankind. The live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch is in theaters, with its tale of a Hawaiian girl who bonds with a chaotic blue alien.
It's my neighbor Craig. He's the best.
Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd lead Friendship, about a suburban dad whose attempt to befriend his charismatic neighbor threatens to ruin both their lives.
There's a power beyond any of our comprehension.
On streaming, Apple TV Plus adds the adventure Fountain of Youth, with John Krasinski and Natalie Portman playing estranged siblings who partner on a global heist to find the Fountain of Youth.
Welcome, class of '88, to your senior prom!
Netflix has Fear Street Prom Queen back in Shadyside for a horror tale set during 1988 prom season.
Come on, catch up.
The streamer also debuts Air Force Elite Thunderbirds, a documentary taking audiences inside the cockpit with the U.S. Air Force's legendary flight squadron.
Pull up.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a male bison in Australia charging in to meet his new roommates, who just happen to be all female. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.